A lone leopardess found herself cornered by a pack of wild dogs atop a withered tree. She had to be extremely cautious, for if she were to fall, the consequences would be dire. The pack of dogs circled below, eyeing her with hunger, determined to bring her down from the tree by any means necessary. The leopardess fought valiantly, her skills no match for any single dog. However, facing such a large number, even a lion would have to retreat a step or two. Fortunately, the dogs could not climb trees, giving the leopardess a glimmer of hope. After hours of stalemate, the dogs still couldn't find a way to dislodge the leopardess from her perch. Grumbling, they finally left the area. The leopardess let out a sigh of relief, having narrowly escaped death. But her worries were far from over. The dogs had headed towards the den where her two cubs were hiding. If the cubs were discovered, they would surely meet a gruesome end. The leopardess's heart pounded with anxiety. She focused her gaze intently on the direction the dogs had taken, silently praying that her cubs would not make a sound. Luckily, the dogs only paused briefly at the den site, failing to notice the tiny cubs hidden in the hollow. Soon, they were gone. But for the leopardess mother, it was still a terrifying nightmare. With a heart filled with post-traumatic stress, she returned to her cubs. The young ones might not have fully grasped the gravity of the situation, but the leopardess's brow was furrowed with worry. She knew they could no longer stay in this place. The dogs could return at any moment, and she had to find a new and safe home for her cubs. As a single mother, the leopardess, Saba, couldn't stay with her cubs all the time to protect them. She had to go out hunting, for without enough food, she couldn't produce enough milk for her cubs. She spotted an antelope and cautiously approached her prey. So far, everything was going according to plan. But sometimes, the smallest things could ruin a perfectly good hunt, like the squirrel in the tree. Just as Saba was about to launch her final attack, the squirrel let out a piercing alarm. The antelope, alerted to the danger, bolted away. Saba gave chase, but it was too late. The antelope had a head start and escaped. Saba was devastated. She could almost hear her heart breaking. But she didn't have time to dwell on her misfortune. She had to find another prey quickly. The longer she was away from home, the more danger her cubs were in. Back at the den in the hollow, the two cubs anxiously awaited their mother's return. Saba's unsuccessful hunt delayed her return, and the cubs, deprived of their mother's milk, were growing increasingly hungry and restless. Soon, things began to spiral out of control. In search of food, Saba's daughter ventured out of the den and started climbing down the tree, gradually moving further away from their safe haven. Little did she know that this decision would seal her fate. On Saba's side, she was still searching for prey. She had been walking for hours without success and finally reached a large tree. After a brief moment of thought, she leapt up and climbed into the tree. She pulled out an owl from its hollow. Saba had known about the owl's hiding place for a while, but had only decided to use it as an emergency food source. While Saba was devouring the owl, a lioness named Sam appeared near Saba's den. She was searching for the cubs' den and followed the sound of the cubs' cries. She quickly spotted them hidden in the thick undergrowth. The little cub was doomed. By the time Saba found her daughter, Sam had already taken her in her mouth. Saba was too late. What will happen next? Let's find out in the next episode.